All right, y'all. Let's get into this video. We are going to be looking at the live markets today. Um, I wasn't going to go live. Sorry, I wasn't going to go live, but honestly, it's just too exciting, man. I want to read this price action in real time with everybody and just learn together. So it's just too exciting for me not to do it, man. So, um, quick disclaimer, you guys. I am not a financial advisor. This is not a signal service. So if you guys, see that I'm saying something maybe that resembles taking a trade, or if I'm saying that I like this idea or anything, that is not a sign for anyone to get in any trade idea that I'm looking at. Um, do not follow my trades. I am not a professional. You know, just be careful with that, y'all. I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to come here to learn, instead of maybe trying to come here and copy trades or whatever else. I know I'm not even that good for anybody to want to copy anything from me, but I just figured I should at least throw that disclaimer out there just in case. So right here, the market just opened up. We're getting a little bit of a drop down into the lower part of the new week opening gap. And I am going to go on my cell phone. I am watching this from my iPad, and I am going to be putting my opening range gap on my chart right now. So in order to do that, I have to go to regular trading hours on a 1 minute time frame, and I am going to go add this gap on here right now. And did we gap anywhere? What? Give me 2 seconds. So I'm not seeing a gap on Trading View. Let me try it on my iPad. Maybe it'll work on there. Let me try it on here. In a 1 minute, let's try regular trading hours. Yeah, I'm not seeing the gap in the market on the opening range gap, so maybe it's not on there. Who knows? So I'm going to leave that alone for now. We're going back to electronic. So yeah, currently, I gave you guys a little bit of a pre-market analysis. I don't really want to have to go back through everything right now, but I did say that I'm looking for this market to come down a little bit. I'm looking for this market to come down over here to this imbalance right here where this orange box is at, because, that's the discount for my range. And then we have the opening range gap midpoint over there. So that's what I'm going to be looking for now. Obviously, I do want the market to keep going up. This is an uptrending market. So, I'm looking at uptrends, but I would prefer to see a reversal here first, me personally. We are on the 1 minute time frame. I'm currently trying to make sure that I'm live right now. So I'm going to be looking for first presented fair value gap in here. As you guys can see, I already have a first presented fair value gap on my chart right up in here. Maybe you guys can't see that little yellow box. I have a lot on my chart that overlaps each other, so if you can't see it, don't really worry about it too much. But it looks like we're going to potentially get another first presented fair value gap right on top of this old first presented fair value gap. So if that do happen, I'm going to look for some quick sales. going down to the area that I told you guys about. So let's look for that. I'm gonna keep this box orange for now. I normally make all of my first presented fair value gaps a yellow box, but I'm just trying to be different. It have not created itself yet, but I do have my TradeAvate open. You guys won't be able to see my trades from my trading view because I am not logged into my any of my accounts on TradingView right now. I'm just going to be taking everything off of TradeAvate. So yeah, market is coming down. It's doing exactly what we said we thought it was going to do. We're waiting for a first presented fair value gap in here. And then when the market comes up and give us an entry, maybe we can look to sell this market down. That's what I'm looking for right now. So boom, right there, first presented fair value gap is created. So what I do is I come in here, I type first presented fair value gap, April 28th or something. That's what I do. Then I make sure I lock that on up. All right, we are looking for a retracement right here to take this market down. So I do have my accounts open. I am going to start looking to take an entry in here. I would like to see the midpoint get hit. The midpoint is about almost the same midpoint as the last first presented. So up there at the 526 area is where I'm going to start looking to build a position. Okay, so let's zoom out. Normally I do like to measure out this range as well. So, we went up there, we swept liquidity. We're already getting a nice rejection. I would like to see it at least come into the premium zone first before I take the trade. So I'm going to wait. It is rejecting out of there right now, which is pretty good. It's a good sign. So I'm going to wait for it to come above this yellow line right here, which is the 50% level of this range on a 1 minute time frame. The market can get tricky sometimes. The market could come up above this first presented fair value gap and hold. That's not what I'm looking for it to do. I'm looking for it to at least hit the midpoint right there and have a nice little rejection to the downside. And honestly, that could be my one trade that I need today, and I could just make that one trade and be done. So having like a little stutter step right now, but we're just going to be patient. This is how you get really good entries in the market right here. You have to be patient. Even though it did go up into that yellow, that orange box, like I said, I'm looking for at least the midpoint, and I would prefer to see it go at least above back into a discount area right here. Now, typically, I like to wait for the first 30 minutes of the day, but the Monday on NFP week tends to present some really fast price action. So I don't mind taking something right now as well. I'm just going to. So this is how I do it, right? When my funded accounts, I scale into every trade, right? It makes trading so much easier. So let's say I have a 300K Apex account. They give you about 35 micros, I believe it is, during the eval. But when you get a PA account, you get half of that, which is about 17 or something. You can't split 35 down the middle, right? So really, I don't really ever need 17 micros to start building my account. Most of the time, I like to be at like 5 at the max, right? Especially on NFP week when things are a bit choppy, you're going to have a lot more fake outs. Granted, yes, there is a lot of opportunity during NFP week as well, but we all know that the fake outs are going to be there too. So with that being said, I like to scale in. I like to like use one micro at a time, not going past 5 micros. Some days I might go up to 10 or something like that, but most of the time I like to try to stay at 5 or below, right? Just so if I take a loss, it's not that painful on my account. So that's pretty much what I'm looking to do right now. Today we're going to take this very slow on our first trade. I'm looking for a sell right up in here. If we zoom out, we got liquidity down there. We do have some liquidity resting above here that could need to be swept before we go to the downside. So we will be paying attention to that as well, because most of the time when liquidity is still up there, sometimes the market wants to go all the way back up there. So right here, it did just wick right above that right there. So I'm going to take my first entry. All right, I'm not going to get too excited because we know we got that liquidity resting above there that the market could want to go sweep. But I did take one entry just in case the market don't want to go all the way back up there, right? I can have at least something on there, right? So I got one micro at 536 right now. Price is currently at 554, so I am in a little bit of down draw. But like I said, it's one micro, so it's nothing too crazy, right? Then we're hitting back up into this little order block right here. So I want to see, do price want to hold that? This little order block. I wish this wasn't so stiff like that. Let me try the trend line. Maybe I can get that to move right. Nope, that's stiff as well. So I have to wait until my pencil and everything come. So right there, we got to close above the first presented fair value gap. So that alone tells me like this is probably going to keep going up to sweep that liquidity. The question is, how far do it want to go? So what's going to happen is, sorry about that, but what's going to happen is, if price want to come down, I'm going to maybe just close and look for a buy. But I really don't feel like buying today. I'd rather sell. So price may need to go back up there, sweep that liquidity. Let's bounce around on our different time frames. Let's go to the 15-minute. We already marked that liquidity. That's really the main liquidity that I'm looking for on the 15-minute. You guys see everything that's down there where I'm looking for price to go. We came back up in here. We respected this order block right here. These two candles right here, we respected these order blocks. So now price is coming up. I am in some down draw, like I said. I got one micro on the trade. I'm not sweating at all, you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even really looking at the trade like that. Because I like to trust my trades, man. So I'm gonna measure out this wick right here. I got a video about using wicks, but I'm gonna measure out this wick just to see if price want to treat that as a rejection block. But nope, it seems like it's going right up there to sweep liquidity. So that's why you use one micro. In the beginning, use one micro. If you're wrong, you're wrong. It's all right. It's not the end of the world, right? I'm still looking for this market to come up here and sweep this liquidity and then go back down to the downside. All right. So that's what we're going to be looking for right here. This could be like a turtle soup type of play. So right here, I'm going to add. I may be looking to add right here. Let's see how price reacts. We don't want to add too fast. Yeah, I'm going to add 2 right there. I just got my average up to 575. Now I have 3 micros. I am looking for this market to come back down. Maybe we need to hit the bottom of that inversion. But so far I got 3 micros at 575. I am currently down about 180 on my position. You guys can't see my position right now, but I do have my laptop literally right next to me over here that I'm looking at, and I'm going to manage my position from a different laptop. So far 3 positions at 575. I'm trying to see if that was just a sweep above liquidity for a turtle soup, and let's see if we can go back down. We already got 3 micros. We don't really need to add anything else, because like I said, I could still be wrong. So sometimes you have to just be very humble, especially when it's like your first trade of the day. You don't want to get too excited. Your analysis could be right, but then you could still lose the trade if you get too excited. So we just gonna chill out. Plus, we ended up having a red day Friday, man. It was a good week last week, but okay, it really wasn't like the best of weeks, but it was a fairly good week as far as, I ended the week green, but I was up like $700 Friday, ended up giving it most of it back, just being greedy and just not being disciplined, man. So we are tapping into the midpoint of this order block right here, which is also near the bottom of our weekly inversion fair value gap. So maybe we can start seeing a reaction to the downside coming up sometime soon. We already have taken liquidity. If we go to the higher time frames, let's go to the hourly chart. Make sure we're not missing nothing on the hourly. I guess there's another order block on the hourly. So, price could go a little bit higher. Let me measure this out right here. I prefer not to see price go all the way to the midpoint up here, but it could. So I'm going to get rid of this line. I'm going to put this blue line right here just so I can have it. It would be nice to see price not go all the way up there first, but I don't make the rules, man. If I could control the market, I'd be a billionaire already. I'm just looking to see if we can start getting a reaction to the downside up in here sometime soon. I'm still in my trade, by the way, y'all. I'm in at 575. I averaged in with 3 micros right now. I'm just chilling out. I've been in down draw for the longest. Probably took too quick of an entry. Especially now that we're above the first presented fair value gap, which is this orange box right here. It's probably not going to be that good. But we're going to see right now, what happens. Do we want to start retracing? That's what we're going to be looking at now. And it's nice to have at least 3 entries up here at 575. Just in case, if it do fall back down here and break below this first presented, I can scale in some more down here. The target I'm looking for is about 330, 350, 330 area. So that's about 300 something points. That's why I said we don't really have to try to, have 20 micros or nothing crazy on this trade for to make some profits. And look at this. Look at this candle right here. This is a good little reaction candle right here. We are finally seeing some profits on our screen right now, y'all. We're up about $70, nothing too crazy. What I'm really interested in seeing is how it touches this first presented fair value gap, which is this orange box right here. When it gets down back into that, I would prefer to see it just blow right through it. That would be nice. If it don't blow right through it, then I'll probably just take profits, take a quick scalp for my first trade of the day, and wait for it to blow right through there so I can get in and make some money today. So that's what I'm waiting for. Currently, I'm floating about $100 in profits right now. I'm just relaxing. I have a trade idea. Don't want to get too excited, but don't want to be too patient either. I want to take profits when I can. That's the name of the game. When you trade in these prop firm accounts, man, take profits. I keep seeing like so many of y'all can like really trade, bro. Like y'all can like top tier price action. Like y'all know what y'all looking for, all of that stuff, but y'all don't be taking profits, man. And it's just I don't get it. I can never get y'all trying to like. All right, I do get it. It's like I don't know. Maybe some of y'all really want TP that bad. Y'all just really be wanting the TP. Um, but it's not always worth it, man. Waiting around for TP is not always worth it. So I want to see. So we do have a little gap right here, but we don't have a swing low made. So what I'm going to be looking at right here, if we do make a swing low, this gap is in premium. So I would love to see this gap hold up if we make a swing low up in here. I may even look to add in there somewhere if the price wants to go back into that. If it doesn't, if it wants to leave it open, that would be even better. So as we come back down to this first presented fair value gap, like I told you guys, we that we are looking for. I am currently up about 160, so nothing too crazy, but I may end up looking to take that very soon. I don't know. Like I said, I want to see it crash through, but I also want to take profits, man. I don't, as long as we're above this first presented fair value gap, I know my position is not safe. So and I was just talking about people not taking profits too, so I can't be the one out here not taking profits either. So it's touching the midpoint. I'm just gonna take the profit right here. Just made 209 on my first trade. My entry was at 575. That was about a 40-point move. Um, I do think it's going to break below right here, but I have to. I might as well just be short because if it breaks below, I could just take a resale. I could just take another entry for a sell position, but it could just easily bounce up right here as well. And if I'm up $200 on my first position, I might as well take that. I had a good entry, but we could always get back in there. I'm gonna be looking at this fib too. So it's still going down. Maybe I should have been patient, but first trade of the day, like I said, I'm not gonna sweat that at all. We still have so much room to go down. I could easily get back up in there. I'm trying to like really be a good example, man, because trading prop firms is not easy, bro. Like it's tough, especially they got all of these rules on there. You got to take profits every 2 seconds. You can't do too much. You can't do too much fancy stuff when you in these accounts, man. So even though price is currently doing exactly what I wanted it to do, it's just still better to be safe. I could have been up maybe an extra $200 right here, but it doesn't bother me at all. Like I said, I'm going to get back into the trade as soon as I see a candle close below the first presented fair value gap. I'm going to be looking to get right back into this trade with no problem. But we was in at 575, and price is currently at 512. So we only made our 40 points. We could have made, extra 20 or 30 points right here, but that's okay. You can't be perfect every day, man. I don't really beat myself up about leaving money on the table anymore. For me, it's just all about getting into the right plays and at the right time and, trying to hold for as long as I can hold for. So now we broke right back below first presented fair value gap. This one right here, where I'm about to put my arrow at, this fair value gap candle should remain open. And then we should start going to our target down here where our little orange box is at down there. So that's what we're going to be looking for. In hindsight, I wish I would have stayed in my trade. I could have been up 75 points, 80 points right now. So we're moving down really fast, but so far everything that I said that was happening is happening, man. I just hope that I don't miss my re-entry because we was above that first presented fair value gap, and I didn't want to have to be in down draw all morning, But now we're making a really good move to the downside. So I'm going to remove this Fibonacci tool off. And hopefully they don't make me feel too sad about closing my position. Like, come on, man. Let me get back in the trade. They really look. It's 100 points now. I would have been up 100 points right there. So that's a little bit painful, but like I said, I don't really beat myself up no more. We already up 200 on the day, so I remember it was a time where I couldn't trade at all, and trying to find a good trade was like impossible for me to do. So I don't ever complain about making profits, even if it's just $200. Just gotta wait for the next setup, wait for the next entry at this point. So if price goes into my target area, I'm going to be a little bit sad. I might just end the screen there because I was trying to just take one sale this morning and be done. I'm not trying to look to like sell it and then buy it all over again and be trading all day. It's a Monday, you know what I'm saying? It's NFP week. I'm not trying to do too much, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to do just enough and be gone because, as much as I love trading, bro, it gets exhausting. You stare at this chart long enough, you're going to make a bad decision, man. That's just how it goes. So I'm not mad about my sale. I get in early a lot of the times. That's one thing I did learn about like my trading since I learned from ICT. Like because I've studied so much of his concepts, sometimes I'm in like super early on my trades, which is not a problem for me. I just always have to remind myself that like if I'm in some down draws, sometimes I just got in way too early. My analysis can still be right, but I just gotta, and that's why scaling in will always save you, man. Like scaling in will always save you. I don't care how good you can trade, just scale in with one micro at a time. You know, let yourself only have 2 or 3 micros on the trade for a little while before you start, like going heavy so you can at least see what the price action is telling you just in case you are wrong, right? I mean, I know we all want to be right off the rip. As soon as we push the button, we want to be up 100 points right off the rip. But as you guys seen, my first entry was 535. And then what did I do? It went up against me almost 100 points, and I added 2 more micros. That made my entry 575. So I scaled into my trade. I got a better average price, and then that allowed me to make some profits, right? You know, we could have been up 150 points already on that one trade. I didn't think it was going to do all of this. Honestly, I did not. If I did, I would have waited clearly, but like I said, I took my 40 points and I got out of there. So I'm not mad about making profits at all. So we did have this old liquidity line that we was looking at. That's the blue line that it just crossed. It crossed there again. It keeps sweeping up. I do think right here, if it comes up right here, we're going to see a sell off from here as well. So I will be looking to take one more sell right here. I'm just waiting for the price to get back above this yellow line right here, which is just a little bit above the midpoint of the first presented fair value gap. And then I'm going to be looking to take another sell up in there. So, yeah, that's all I'm waiting for right now. Let me check all of the other time frames as well. The 5 minute is not really looking super clean. Let me check the 2 minute. Nothing really looks super clean, but it's clean enough for me to find a trade, so I'm taking it. I am not going to be scared to trade. I like the 4 minute right now, so going back to the 1. It's a little bit of a breaker up in here. You can see this breaker on a 5 minute. It don't look as clean as I would like it to be, but it looks a lot cleaner on the 6 minute. So I'm going to watch it from the 6 minute. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not going to get tricked out by the market when it comes back up here. The structure could be a lot cleaner. Not the worst of the worst, but we could definitely be cleaner. Because right there, we have a little bit of a fair value gap that the market is respecting. This little gap right here on a 15 minute time frame. We do got that. Then we got liquidity resting below here. Then we also got liquidity resting below there. So because it's respecting this little, fair value gap, as much as I want sales to happen, I got to be careful, We did have a sweep of liquidity, right? And then now we're working within this range on the 1 minute. Oh. Right, now we're working within this little bit of a range on the 1 minute. I'm going to measure this out. I'm going to box up this little bit of a gap right here. And I'm going to wait and see how the market wants to behave off of those zones. If I do get into another sell, I like to do a lot of stuff off like time and price. So because it's 10:09, I would love to see the market just go down and get into my area, and so I can get this day over with. But that's has nothing to do with whether it's going to do it or not, you know. So what I like to do is, I like to look at the time first, and based on the time, that's going to tell me if price is going to go down and sweep an area of liquidity or something like that. But I'm just noticing how it's uptrending right now in the smaller time frame, and I would have rather for it to just have quickly retraced up to where I want to sell at and then come back down. All of this like creating more market structure, it's not really what I want to see essentially. But I'm still going to take the sell, win or lose. I'm just going to have good risk to reward on the entry, and so I can live and die with my analysis. That's how we do it, man. If you just manage your risk properly, you can trade in peace. You don't have to be scared to trade every 2 seconds because you're about to blow your whole account off for every trade that you make. Just try to manage your risk properly. So, like, for example, let me give y'all an example of what I'm talking about when I say it's creating more market structure as it go up, and I don't want to see that. So look at these little 2 order blocks right here. All right, look at these 2 order blocks right here. Okay, apparently I can't even mark those for some reason. All right, it's not perfect, but just think these 2 red candles right here, the midpoint of this is what I'm going to be looking at. So what I don't want to see is I don't want to see the market come up right here, hit this midpoint, and continue to go up to the upside. I don't want to see that. If it does that, then I'll probably just get ready to wrap this screen up, or maybe just wait a little bit later for the sell that I want to happen. Notice how I couldn't get my box on there properly. Let me see if I can do it from my phone. Okay, it's changing on my computer, doing it from my phone, so that's good. So notice how the bodies of these candles are closing above the midpoint. I don't want to see that if I'm taking my sell. Yep. So I'm looking at these bodies right here. I'm trying to see if these are going to continue to close above the midpoint. And I'm also looking at this yellow line right here. Right? And this yellow line is essentially the midpoint of my range on my Fibonacci, right? So from swing high to swing low, I'm looking at the midpoint right there. because we know that this is a uptrending market right now. It could easily just want to keep going higher, fake me out, trying to get me back in for a sale. But right now, as long as we're below the first presented fair value gap, I'm going to be looking for a sale. Hey, baby, you got everything open? Should I end my screen? Yeah, should I end it? You got to go back to class at 11? Okay, because I'm wondering, because I was already in the sale and I only made like 40 points, but imagine it went up like 150 points. Yup. No, like it went in profits 150 points, but I had already sold it. I wasn't expecting it to make such a fast move this early. And then I was looking for a re-entry right now as we speak. Yup. Yeah, I'm on the phone while I'm on live. So they probably can hear you too. This is my girl, y'all. I got her into trading too. So she be calling me asking about trade ideas now. But yeah, you got everything open, babe? Okay. It's like I really want to take sales, but it's like price keep making more market structure going back to the upside, and it's giving me anxieties about sales. So I'm being real patient. But as long as it's below the first presented fair value gap, I'm going to be looking for sales. Yeah, I didn't see an opening range gap on there today. Did you see it? That's what I said. But yeah, I'm currently just watching the first presented fair value gap, seeing if it's going to hold to push price back down. Because we got some liquidity resting below there. And I told you I wanted to see it go to the inversion fair value gap on the 1 hour chart. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to take my trade regardless. I'm going to at least have 2 or 3 micros on there. I can't miss out on everything. It's just dancing around like right near the 50% level of my range. So I'm waiting for it to go into premium. It's almost there. So I hope you're ready. Anything above 528 is going to be where I'm going to be start looking at get in at. It's just for some crazy reason, like it keeps going like almost there, but it's not getting there. Like it just went to like 524, and now it's having a baby rejection again. So regardless, I have confidence in it because that's where the new week opening gap is at is as well, and that's also where the first presented fair value gap from the evening session from last Friday is at. So it's a lot going on right there in that little area. So I'm going to be taking it. Yeah, it went there. Yeah, it went there. It even went above there. It ended up touching just about the midpoint of the 4 hour order block, and then it touched the bottom of the weekly inversion fair value gap. So it touched that. It sold off. That was like my first entry where it touching the bottom of the weekly inversion fair value gap. And then I mean I kind of I should have I wish I would have held. If I would have held, I'd probably be done today. Honestly, I wouldn't even be looking at this market because it's moving so slow and it's making me like not even really want to trade it. Honestly, but I made my $200 and I'm happy so far. This was like not like 9:47, 9:48, right? After the market opened. Nope. Hmm. Yeah. Same here. Like it looks pretty confusing, but if I had to, make a decision, I'm going to go for the sales, especially just seeing how we just sold off. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I didn't forgot to check the news. So it's a JPY bank holiday. That sucks. So yeah, I'm looking for 528 or above, and then I'm going to start scaling in once you get above that. Based on my range, the midpoint of my range is 528. So I mean, it could always go back up and touch the midpoint of the new week opening gap, which is around 540. So yeah, it could go higher. I'm hoping it don't have to do all of that. I'm hoping it's just fine with touching like maybe the quarter mark of the um new week opening gap, like the quarter quadrant, and then selling off. So it's currently making a little move down right now, which is good. I hope it don't leave without me. That will suck. Yeah, that would suck, babe. I don't think it's gonna leave without us. So, like I said, I'm gonna take this sale regardless. This is why you just have to have good risk to reward. But now that it invalidated, it made this little order block right here invalid. Once it went below this swing low right here, I'm going to remove this orange box off of my chart because I no longer need to refer to that. Notice how when we was referring to that, it was respecting the midpoint right here, but I don't need it anymore because it just invalidated that. That is just one tool that you can use to read price, right? So now that gives me a little bit more confidence on my sales. to see that happen. So right here, we just got above 528. See how when it invalidated that order block? See, notice how it went right to our entry almost right away. Right. That's why you have to be able to read price. So this ain't the entry that I want, but I am going to take a 1 micro right here just so I can have a little bit of something on there. My entry is 523. It is going a little bit higher as I anticipated. I'm going to take 2 micros right here. So now my average is 528. It did close inside of the first presented fair value gap, which is what we're looking for right now, and is currently hitting the midpoint of the new week opening gap. So I will take 3 right here. So now I got 3 at 528. And what I like to do now, you guys, is just essentially just wait and have patience, man. Like, even though I'm looking for a sale and I like to believe in my setups, you don't want to go too big too fast and the market could just keep blasting up. And then now you're just in there with 10 or 20 micros down 30, 40 points. That's going to be way too much for a prop firm account or your personal account as well. So this is where you take an entry and then you start reading price, right? So what I like to do is I like to see how the candles are going to close. I'm going to start looking at order blocks like these 2 order blocks right here that was made because of this big green candle. I don't want to see these 2 order blocks be respected too much as price dip down into it. I would love to see price, maybe respect it one time but not really respect it too much. So we're going to see right now price is currently dipping down. We're up another $200 on the day. So already this is a good session. I could make $400 this session and be done, to keep it real with you. But I'm looking for at least something close to a liquidity exit or the zone that I was looking for the inversion. So, babe, did you get in? You said no? I'm calling the trades out. Why are you not getting in? I'm talking to you, my love. Man, you be tweaking, babe. Regardless, if you hear me saying that I'm in the trade, take the trade, babe. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you have to stop doing that, though. I mean, I literally say I'm looking for a 528 or above, babe. I don't know how much more assurance you need. So price is coming down right here, you guys. What I would love to see, obviously my babe missed her entry, so hopefully it goes back up again so she can possibly get in. But I would have just loved to seen it just flush right out right there and then keep going. That's what I would have loved to have seen. Still a good trade right now. I don't know if they're going to even give her another chance to get back in right there. Um, but we're going to see, man. She might just have to wait for a different type of entry, which will, be a big difference. If I was you, I would at least get in with 2 right now. Just get in with 2 right now, just in case. So this is what happens when you miss entries, you guys. This trade may not come back up there. That's why I just took 3 micros, just in case if it don't go back up there, and I want to keep scaling to my trade some more. When it gets down here to this fair value gap, I'm going to wait for it to break past that fair value gap, and treat that as an inversion. And that could be like possibly the next place for me to add in at, if I feel like I need to add in at all. And then we're going to just continue to like watch these orange boxes right here. We're going to watch this orange box right here. We're going to watch this orange box right here. And then this one all the way down here is where our take profit is. That's where I really want to see the market go. Am I going to have enough patience? Probably not. I'm going to be honest with y'all. It all depends on how it's doing. If it gets there and it gets there fast, I'll wait. But if it don't, I'm not waiting around. So, Bay, did you get in with 2 micros? You say what? You say what, Bay? Okay. So that's what I'm waiting for right now. We're currently up about $234 on our account. Just chill mode for this trade, man. This is like a bread and butter type of trade. It should work to perfection. But as I said, like not long ago, y'all, I'm taking profits. You know, if I see something that I don't like, I'm getting out the trade as soon as possible. I don't like to get too fancy with the whole TP thing, waiting for TP and all of that, trying to be too fancy. I don't really care about any of that type of stuff. Any day where you can make a profit is a good day. You have to learn how to be really humble in these markets, man, because it's not easy to do this, bro. If you can make $50 a day, if you can make any type, if you can have a green day or green week, a green month, bro, like be grateful for that, man, because that's not easy to do. So we're currently sitting inside of this fair value gap. That's why I told my girlfriend to just get in or at around 490s because where I got in at, it may not go back above that. You know, if price wants to run, and you guys heard me say this in the scream, I said, if price runs and go to where I want it to go, that could be the only move of the day that's really worth something. So if you miss this move, it could just be over, you know. So I'm currently up about 450 with about 3 micros. So what I'm gonna do here, you guys, as you guys can see, we're this is a fair value gap that I had drawn out right here. I am going to look and see if this wants to become a inversion fair value gap. And if it does, I may add 1 micro in there. I don't really want to mess up my average too much. It did become an inversion, babe. I'm going to look to take another entry right here with 1 micro. So that brings my entry to 511. That definitely kind of made my entry a lot worse. But if this market can continue to move fast, then this could be worth scaling into. So currently we're going down pretty fast now, you guys. I'm not going to look to scale in anymore now because it'll just be pointless to keep making my entry worse and worse. But what I want to see is the same thing happen with this fair value gap. I want to see price go below here, close below, and treat it as an inversion fair value gap. That's what I'm looking for. Our target that we're looking for is 330. We're already almost up 100 points on this trade. So I'm not going to get too greedy. It don't have to really go to my target. Price is coming up a little bit, and that's why you have to really be careful where you add at because price could easily come back up, and then you would turn a winning trade to a losing trade very fast. So I'm looking for this price to keep going down, though. You know, I'm not mad about my ad right there at all. I would have added another one, but like I said, I don't want to get too greedy. What's your average, babe? 490. Okay, good. So my babe got a pretty good average too. Um, yeah, we're just waiting. We're gonna wait. You know, we don't want to be too patient. Like I said, we don't want to turn a profitable trade to a losing trade, having too much pride and shit. But I would love to see the candles stay within this fair value gap. It's doing a lot right here. I did not want to see this. It's not nothing that really scares me, but it's definitely something that's annoying because I wanted to see a quick move to the downside. So, babe, don't worry if you're taking a little bit of heat right here. Just hold off. I'm probably even going to add right here, to be honest. I'm just going to add right here. So now I got 5 micros. I definitely didn't. I wanted to see that fair value gap hold, to be honest. But I'm going to stay true to my sales. Um, at the work, what could also happen is it could come back and touch the bottom of the first presented fair value gap too before it makes its run. I wouldn't really be too surprised to see that. But this is why you take profits, y'all. Because I was just up 450. Now I'm only up 150. I'm not too worried, but it is annoying, trying to chase something bigger when I had the 450. I could have been up 650 on the day and been happy. But what's going on, babe? The gap that I'm looking at, the price of that gap is from 460, and the top of the gap is 475. So I would love to see right here. I would love to see it come back down and disrespect that gap one more time. We just touched the midpoint of our we just touched the midpoint right there of that little bit of a range that it created. But as I said, I'm not going to add any more until I see price come down. Right now, we only got 5 micros on, so I'm not really too worried. If you want to go back to 530, I'm not tripping. Could have managed it better. Could have had a better exit and took it again, but this is what happened when you don't take profits, man. Market comes back to get you. So let's see what it's going to do. Like I said, I'm looking to keep my foot on the downside pedal until like unless it just magically just start flying up right now. So none of this worries me. I was up 450. Now I'm only up, or actually I'm down 70, $80. But I'm not tripping at all. I'm going to be looking to add in here. But that was a clear example of why I said learn how to take profits, man. Because I would have loved to have locked that 450 in. I was trying to be patient. The price was moving pretty fast at one point, but this is why time and price matter because I knew it was a little bit early in the day, and I was thinking that it could have just got there. So right here, I want to add so bad right here, but I'm trying to be patient. Just in case I'm wrong, just in case I'm really wrong. I already got 5 micros on there. I want to just be patient because it wasn't supposed to do all of this. So, this is not what I wanted at all. But it is hitting that midpoint of the first presented. I'm going to add 2 more right there just in case, man. I just got a weird feeling this could just easily come back down. But I'm not trying to go too crazy. But this is why scaling in is so important. going to stick to my analysis, man. Sometimes when you see this happen and they trying to fake you out, this is what's going to test you as a trader. Do you still trust your analysis, or are you going to start flip flopping? The fact that I'm adding to my trade shows you guys that I trust my analysis. And if I'm wrong, then I'm just willing to take the loss. You know, it's not the end of the world. So far, I got 7 micros with an average of 511. So I am down. Um, if I would have knew it was gonna do all of this, I would have just had, my girlfriend have a better entry, but she was in some profits for a quick second. So the next time around, once we get down to these lows, I'm taking profits because as you guys can see, unless it's flying to the downside, the next time around, I'm out. I'm not about to play around because it's moving too slow. Even though I'm almost 100% sure it's going to go to my take profit, I just don't feel like sitting here doing this all day, man. I like to be able to make my trade like that 450. If I were to took that, I'd probably be done for the day. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't try to really put up a fight just for take profit. I know that's what some of y'all like to do. Y'all be up thousands and y'all still be holding and shit. And it's like, that's fine, bro. Do what you gotta do. I'm not judging nobody. It's just for me, I've been trading so long and I've been burnt so many times by the market. When the market give me something, bro, I like to just be gone. All right, but look at this big red candle right here, y'all. I'm just like that. I'm back up 350. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, this is why I wasn't really tripping about adding it to my position. I still only have 7 micros on there. I'm not sweating. The market could spike up 100 points, and I'm still not gonna blow my account. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but I'm just trying to let y'all know, like, win, lose, or draw, I don't really care. And that's how it's supposed to feel, and that's why managing your risk is so important. Because if you go all in on every trade, you're going to be sweating, you're going to be worried, and you're not going to be able to just relax and let the trade play out. Right, babe? And that's something I learned from my babe. She was like, she kept seeing me blow accounts, and she was like, "You gotta just manage your risk better." I'm like, I know, like I don't know what's my problem. So now I'm back down $60 just that fast. So clearly this is a part of reading price action. It helps you because now when the market goes back to where you want it to, it should make it a little bit easier to take profits now because now you see that the market is doing all of this. If it was a much cleaner market, we would have been going somewhere by now, right? So this is all a part of reading price action. But it is also based on time and price as well. I'm looking at the time. It's 10:43. I'm waiting for the micro to come at 10:50. I was hoping we was going to be a little bit moving to the downside around 10:50 because sometimes the micro, which is the last 10 minutes of any hour and the first 10 minutes of any trading hour, sometimes you could see a spike to the upside or a spike to the downside. Normally it starts to inch towards liquidity around those micro time periods. So typically, I like to see my trade at least be up in profits when it gets closer to like 10:50 or 11:50 or something like that. So, like I said, I'm not really too worried right now. Um, I'm just I'm just gonna believe in my setup, and as long as the price is below the first presented fair value gap, that's going to give me all the comfort that I need. If it somehow closes above the first presented fair value gap, then guess what? I close the trade and I'll take a loss. Simple as that. You say what, love? You say where's the price at? What was that? So the stop loss for this trade, I do have a mental stop for this trade, and my stop loss is essentially if it closes above the first presented fair value gap. But my mental stop loss would be more so like around 580. I really don't want to see it. I would like to see it. The fair value gap that I marked out to you guys earlier, I want to see that stay open, obviously. But what's most important for this trade is seeing it stay below the first presented fair value gap. Any close above that, I'm out. So even though I have a mental stop for about 580, really any close above that will make me collapse the trade. So, and sometimes the market can do that. It can close above, fake you out, and then still come back below. But you just got to follow the rules and be willing to exit the trade for a loss if need be. So we are touching right above the midpoint of the range right here. I don't really want to see it do too much. I don't really want to see it go past 555, to be honest. I am in some down draw right here. I'm down about 280, 290. I'm not worried. As long as the body's closed within this first presented fair value gap, I'm good to go. Maybe it's going to come up here and sweep this little liquidity that was right at the midpoint of the new week opening gap. Personally, I would have had loved to have seen it not do all of this, but based on the timer in which we took the trade, this isn't really too much of a surprise, which is why I maybe should have taken profits. Obviously, hindsight is always the clearest sight possible. Even lens crafters can't give you better vision than the hindsight. So we are now getting ready to touch the midpoint of the new week opening gap. I am currently floating negative $430 on this trade, but I'm still not worried, honestly. Got to keep it a buck. Two minutes until the macro begins at 10:50. So right now, let me mark this liquidity out for you guys so y'all can see the liquidity that I was referring to. I'm looking at this little sky blue line. It don't really have to do too much. It could just react off of that rejection block too. So my main focus is the first presented fair value gap, which is this orange box that's on my chart. That's my main focus. As long as we're in there, I'm fairly comfortable. And if this market starts to move down, it's going to move down really quick and aggressively. But this time around, I'm definitely going to be looking to take profits. Not going to be doing all of this back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest. I was up 450. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the worst of the worst to be back and down draw. As long as you trust your trade and you still believe it's valid based on price action, that's what matters the most. But obviously, the best thing to do, especially if you're using these prop firm accounts, is to take profits, man. Just take profits, bro, because it'll save you the stress. It'll save you all of the BS, and then you gotta worry it's gonna come back. It's gonna still hold all the extra crazy stuff. Nah, bro, you could have already had locked in the 450. Like, imagine if I would have locked in that 450, I would have been up 650. Then it just gave me a whole nother chance to take the same entry I just had. So I could have took it again. Maybe this time only risk 400 of the 650 I just made. However else, the point is you can even manage your risk better when you take profits. You give yourself a cushion, and you just you don't risk more than what you made or what you're up on the day. So that's the other good thing about taking profits. Like, notice how it keeps coming back. We just hit into last Friday's first presented fair value gap during the evening session. I would love to just see it move right down here. Notice how that happened right during the 10:52 micro session. All right, you guys, pay attention to what what I'm showing y'all. This is all what ICT teaches. It's not a coincidence that the move is starting to happen at 10:50, right? It's 10:52 right now. I mean, I just told y'all about the micro way before the micro even happened. So it's not a coincidence. It's you can't come in and be like, oh, it don't work, whatever. It's like, just try to learn, man. Just be here to learn. So still doesn't mean we can't be wrong on our trade, but I'm just trying to show y'all, like, just pay attention to the algorithm. It's a time delivery type of algorithm, which means that it moves off of time first. So, babe, you said you got class at 11, right? So I'm gonna try to get my babe out of this trade real soon. It should be getting back to her entry unless she added. I didn't tell her to add. It's up to her. I definitely did add. I'm not gonna lie, I did add. I got 15 micros on this trade, y'all, at 520. Currently, I'm up about $1,000 right now. You know, I told y'all I had a loss Friday. I'm definitely looking to at least get some of that back. And then not only did I take the loss, but my drawdown went down off of that too. So that's mostly what I'm thinking about. So I'm currently up about almost 1,100 on this trade. I honestly wouldn't even mind taking the profits right now, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient since we just waited all of that time. Can we at least get back down to 430 is what I'm going to wait for this time around. I don't want to keep giving the market these profits back. Babe, did you add into the trade? Okay. So my babe, she got a little chunk on. I'm going to at least hold right now and see if we can get in or get out right before she go to class. And if we do that, I'm just going to end the screen. So my baby, she's in at 497. She's in some profits. I'm in at 520. I'm in some profits. Not really big profits, but let's see if we can at least get 430s coming up real soon. I would love to just see the market just go ahead and drop it like it's hot. Stop playing around, man. Cause I was just up 1100. I'm about to damn near take it. I want to take it, but my babe got the 497 entry, and I want to try to wait and get out with her because I know if I close it, she's gonna want to close. So we're just gonna stay true to the trade right now. We're still looking at the last 5 or 4 minutes of this micro. It would be nice to at least get to 440 sometime soon. Like I don't know what's the hold up. The market know where it wants to go, but it just keep playing around. Here we go. This is what I like to see right here, baby. I'm up about 1300. Come on, keep coming. Keep coming. Stop doing all of that flinching around. Just go ahead and give up the goose. But yeah, I am going to get ready to take profit soon, y'all. If we can't see a little bit better of a drop than this sometime soon. Like every time I feel like I take profits way too fast, but I am up 40 points right now, which is pretty decent. I'm just trying to be a little bit more patient because I've been noticing when I'm in the right trades and I take profits, like literally every minute or two later, it's like I could have made an extra 100 points. So I'm just trying to have some patience here, y'all. But once you get around about 4:30, I'm definitely going to be looking to get out. Even though I want 3:30, I'm not going to play around today, y'all. I'm getting out at around 4:30, and only way I'm gonna be able to hold for 3:30 is if it just crashes down right now. That's that's the only way. Other than that, I'm already ready to close right now. I'm watching this one little candle right here, y'all. On the 1 minute, I want to see this hold, man. If this one can hold, it'll just make me so happy. There we go. It's holding too. Perfect. That was beautiful. That's literally right there. Could have been an entry, y'all. Right there could have been an entry. See that order block right there, y'all? How it came up, hit the midpoint right there at 488. Started to sell off really good. That's called reading price action right there. Could have been an entry, but for me, it was just a way to see if it don't start moving right now, I'm gonna just get the hell up out of here. That's what it meant for me. So come on, it's like so close to 4:30, bro. Like just go ahead and get there so I can be done. I'm closing. Fuck it. I know it's gonna get there, but I'm closing, y'all. I'm done. I told y'all I'm not the best when it comes to holding for TP. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But overall, we made almost $1,850 today. So there it is. Boom, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Made up for Friday loss, and I'm good to go. I'm not about to keep playing. This market is moving pretty slow, and it have already came back against me twice today. So that's more than enough information for me. Babe, did you close? My babe, she's out. How much did you make? Babe made a good 200. It's a good way to start the week. You know what I'm saying? She gotta go to class. I got shit to do. 278 bet. That's a good way to get back from Friday. My babe had a green week last week, so we're good, man. We're just trying to trend up. Like I told y'all, huh? Same. Mine's is back. That's really the main reason why I closed it. Look, because I was looking at the drawdown, and I'm glad we did because now it's coming back up a little bit. I don't. Nobody wants to have to wait for this all day, so that's going to be the end of the stream, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all learned something. If y'all have any questions, make sure y'all drop a comment in the section below. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel because that's the best way to support the channel for free. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. See y'all next time.